You know, many people consider fall to be the end of the gardening season, but I think of it as anything but that. It's the perfect time to get some new plants in the ground and do some important things in and around the garden. So in this video, I'm going to show you some timely tips to keep your garden going strong now and well into the new year. For gardeners, the sign of tomato plants and peppers yielding to the first frost of the season is a sure sign that winter's on the way. And that frost hit us just the other night. But it's also an important reminder it's time to clean up and clear out. And where does all of this go? Well, the compost pile, of course. Now, although it doesn't look that great, it's a great addition of organic matter. As you remove spent plants, shake the soil off the roots to keep it in the beds and salvage what you can of any remaining fruit. You'll be surprised at how much is still usable. Now, on the subject of composting, it's always a good time for that, but fall is particularly a good time. The reason being, so much is coming in from the garden and around the landscape. But in addition to thinking about what you're bringing to the compost, you also need to think about what you don't bring here. The main reason for that is there are diseases on certain plants that will not die in the composting process because in a lot of home processing systems, it doesn't get hot enough to kill the pathogens. And the last thing you want to do is next spring or summer, taking that finished compost and putting back into your garden, only to find out that it has those same diseases in it. Now, for everything else, go ahead and add it to your compost pile. But keep in mind that during the winter months, that composting process tends to slow down a good bit. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep making deposits to your pile with the green waste and the brown waste, along with water and air. And the air is really important to help that process continue to happen. And the best way to do that throughout the year is to turn your pile. But what about in the wintertime when it's covered with snow or maybe it's just too cold to come out and turn it? Then what do? Well, a good substitute is to include sticks of various sizes into your pile. Now that's good because it creates these pockets where that air and that water can get to. So even as the softer green things are breaking down, the sticks are still there because they break down a lot more slowly. But that's good. And in the springtime, you can come back out here and you can pull these sticks out, or you can continue to let them break down naturally, which they certainly will. Removing spent plants from your raised beds and landscaped areas certainly has its own advantages, but there's another very important one, because now you have a blank slate in which to amend the soil. And that's very important because as your plants are growing throughout the season, you only have so much soil here and those plants are taking up all those nutrients. So you've got to find a way to improve the soil and add back those nutrients. And for me, as an organic gardener, there's a few things that I always use, and the first is compost. Now, it's a good thing, a little bit goes a long way because you can never seem to make enough of this, but about 1 inch or 2 across the surface is good, and I'll mix it all in, and it has good nutrients and micronutrients that my plants need, and it's really going to improve the soil. And then there's another organic amendment that I like to use, and the price is certainly right, and that is arborist wood chips. Now, about a year ago, I had some trees taken down on this property, and I asked the arborist to deposit the chips on the back pasture. Now, at that point, it was a bunch of pieces of wood, but over the course of the last year, that's all broken down. It's almost soil. So I'll put this into the bed as a good carbon source and more organic matter, and that'll continue to break down. And then one more thing I do, I add some organic nitrogen. Now, this is a granular form, but they come in a lot of different forms, but this is just easy to spread, and about 1 cup is all I need for this area. But the nitrogen will help the carbon break down, and nitrogen in general is good for the soil and your plants. So collectively, I'll mix all this together over the next few minutes, and then I'll have a bed that's totally restored and ready for planting. And we have another great opportunity each fall to add organic matter as we put our gardens and landscapes to bed. I mean, what would the season be without leaves, right? Well, it's our free gift from Mother Nature every year at this time. Over the years, I've been using a winning combination of utilizing the leaves that fall from the trees, followed by a generous layer of wood mulch that packs a powerful punch at helping to put the garden to bed, protect many of the plants through winter, and best of all, helping to create ideal growing conditions in the soil when plants spring to life again. So what's the process? Well, first things first. We need to deal with the leaves. Now, you could leave the leaves in the beds, but I like to get the leaves out on the grass and then run over them a time or two with my mulching mower. 1 or 2 passes will do a great job of breaking down the leaves into small pieces, or simply mow them up with a bag attachment and then spread the bag contents into the beds. Either way, breaking down the leaves into small pieces will help them convert to compost more quickly. With all the cleaning up to do, take comfort in knowing it's good to leave some things alone that may appear to be dead. Spent flowers from perennials like black-eyed Susan and coneflower can offer an important food source to birds in winter. Other plants, such as astilbe and hydrangeas, have incredible summer flowers that add lots of interest to the winter landscape too. Now, whether you're a fan of lawns or not, I happen to love a nice balance between landscape beds and grass because I think it adds one more dimension to the overall landscape and adds some additional interest. Now, I realize I have a lot of work left to do with adding shrubs and trees, but first things first. Before it gets too cold and all the leaves fall from the trees, it's time to do an overall renovation to the lawn. For me, that means sowing some cool season grass seed. I chose a cool season, drought-tolerant fescue for my project. Once all the seed was spread, I added some organic fertilizer to those areas and then a light top dressing of straw over the lawn areas to help keep the seed and soil moist. Combined with light irrigation until germination, in about 2 weeks, give or take, you should start to see the fruits of your labor. Perhaps one of the easiest and most productive things that you can do as you put your garden to bed, or any time of the year for that matter, is to make notes and take pictures, because there's no better time to document the moment than when you're in it. Plus, these will serve as valuable tools to track your progress. Plus, you can look at them to decide what worked and what didn't work, or what you'd like to change. And when you finally do put your garden to bed, you can pull those notes and pictures back out as you plan for the months and years ahead.